Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to Dr. Nick and my fellow classmates. My name is Nur Adina binti Muhammad Rosni and my metric number is 200440.
Hi everyone, my name is Nur Hidayati Shima binti Ismail. My metric number is 201070.
Hi everyone, my name is Nafalina binti Hamzah. My metric number is 201901.
Hi, my name is Mahisara binti Muhammad Fauzi. My matrix number is 200462.
Today we are going to present about the chemical preservative present in salad dressing, which is potassium sorbate, code E202. So let's look at the introduction. First, the potassium sorbate was synthesized by neutralizing sorbic acid with potassium hydroxide. Its chemical formula is C6H7KO2 and its molecular weight is 150.22 gram per mole. The other names for potassium sorbate is 2,4-hexadionic acid, K-sorbate, and potassium salt. It is an odorless tester salt and it appears as white crystalline powder or grape. In addition, potassium sorbate is known as potassium salt of sorbic acid. It is an inactive salt form of sorbic acid, and when it's dissolved in water, potassium sorbate is more soluble in water compared to sorbic acid, and that's one of the reasons why potassium sorbate is preferable preservative to be added in liquid food. Next, potassium sorbate also acts as chemical additive to preserve food freshness and quality. It works at room temperature. Then, potassium sorbate generally regarded as safe by US Food and Drug Administration. And lastly, it prolongs the shelf life of foods by inhibit the growth of mold, yeast, and certain bacteria. Now, let's move on to the next presenter.
Thank you Adina. So now I will continue with the problem in salad dressing industry. For your information, salad dressing is oil in water emulsion, which can contribute to the growth of yeast and mold because of their high water activity, and certain bacteria also can grow in acidic condition. Both yeast and mold can cause various degrees of deterioration and decomposition of food because moisture requirement of foodborne mold and yeast generally require a higher water activity. Therefore, to overcome this problem, preservative E202 potassium sorbate have become one of the ingredients in this salad dressing, and it also can inhibit of both yeast and mold, also active for the several bacteria. Additionally, because of their physiological uniqueness and their effectiveness even in the weakly acid pH value range, that becomes the reason why potassium sorbate have been used. For example, the pH value range salad dressing was 2.4 until 4.4, which will attract acidophile to survive in acidic condition. Hence, the target pH value depends on the level of other inhibitory factors such as water activity and the presence of preservative in order to prevent spoilage of salad dressing. And fun fact, it has become questioned by everyone, is potassium sorbate safe to eat? Yes, as Adina mentioned earlier, is having approved as a safe ingredient because of potassium sorbate undergo metabolites, which, for your information, potassium sorbate is the salt unsaturated fatty acid that participate in the fat metabolite and finally metabolize it into water and carbon dioxide in human body. Hence, it's safe to be eaten by us and is not expected to cause any toxicity in human at level found in food. So that's all from me, and I will pass to the next presenter, which is Lana.
Thank you, Shima. Okay, now I will be explain about the targeted microorganisms that have in salad dressing. This actually can be divided into two types, which is bacteria and yeast. In bacteria, you have bacillus species and lactobacillus species. However, these two bacteria can easily inhibit during processing. Therefore, the primary targeted microorganism is actually yeast, which is Zygosaccharomyces species, especially Zygosaccharomyces belli. This Zygosaccharomyces belli can grow in salad dressing because of certain factors like Shima said just now. Just to inhibit it, we use food preservatives such as potassium sorbate. Okay, now I will explain about the mechanism of potassium sorbate. Firstly, when potassium sorbate dissolves in water, it will produce sorbic acid. Then it dissociates to remove free proton and decrease the solution of pH. The increased number of protons at the outer surface of microorganisms can disrupt membrane function of bacteria and yeast. Okay, now we'll be continuing with Sarah.
Thank you, Zana. Now I will explain about mechanism of potassium sorbate on bacteria and yeast. Okay, for bacteria, exposure of microbial cell to sorbate result in change in their morphology and appearance due to the abnormally outgrowth of vegetative cell from bacteria spore or elongation and division of emerged cell. Plus, it damages the outer membrane by increase the porosity of the cell membrane. In addition, sorbate also inhibit enzyme synthesis. Sorbate's inhibitory on catalase may result from formation of sorbyl peroxide from the auto-oxidation of sorbic acid. For yeast, if yeast are exposed to sorbate, it might produce irregular organelles such as irregular nuclei, mitochondria of different size, dense phospholipoprotein, granules, and vacuoles. It also interferes with reaction associated with formation, such as the formation of cell wall and cell division. Next, sorbate might incorporate into certain cell structure and stimulate or inhibit specific biosynthetic event in the cell. It also inhibits respiration in yeast by competing with acetate at the site of acetyl coenzyme A formation. Lastly, sorbate also inhibits cell metabolism in yeast, bacteria, and mold by reducing microbial assimilation from many substrates. The decrease in many oxidative assimilation of many substrates such as fumarate, glucose, and pyruvate. Overall, the effectiveness of potassium sorbate as an inhibitory agent against key microorganisms is used to determine the use concentration of the compound, and it also depends on factors such as pH of the food, ingredient of the product, other additive present, product contamination, processing, packaging, storage temperature, length of storage, and sanitation. That's all from us about potassium sorbate. Thank you.